Hi, this is Trey Passer. Welcome to my review of Doom Patrol, Episode 6, titled Doom Patrol. Okay, this episode picks up, after the episode 5, of course, where they had to team up briefly with Mr. Nobody, and then as the episode ended, Vic was getting ready to attack Mr. Nobody, but Mr. Nobody slowed down time, and Vic managed to blow his arm out, and his emergency button was pressed by Cliff, so his father is on his way to help repair Vic, which he didn't want. And as this episode opens, Cliff, aka Robot Man, is trying to access the internet to try to find out more about his daughter, okay, which he's having issues with, and he goes to Vic to try to get him to help. And of course, Vic doesn't want to do that because he pressed his emergency button, and he didn't want his father to know about it. But of course, his father knows, and his father's on his way. Okay, and at the same time, we have Crazy Jane. She remembers that Mr. Nobody told her to find the Doom Patrol. So she's asking Vic if he has heard of the Doom Patrol, and of course he said he's never heard of them. But she finds out from Rita that yes, they know the Doom Patrol. She said she even dated one of the members, Steve Vaughn, aka Doctor, I think Mento. That was his name, Mento. He's psychic ability. Okay, and so Crazy Jane used that opportunity to grab Larry and and Rita and teleport back to the Doom Mansion, so she can actually find answers and find out exactly why Mr. Nobody sent her back to find out about the Doom Patrol. Okay, well there she meets an administrative doctor there who's she's the Doom Patrol kind of gets split up. Rita goes to speak with uh, her old flame Steve and Mr. Mento, and they sit talking about the past and stuff, and she reminisces. They even show you flashbacks of them when she first got there and she was introduced to Steve by Miles, and he explained how he's going to help Rita, because they even show in the beginning of the episode a little flashback of when Rita was desperately trying to get a job in Hollywood, where she basically went to this as a last ditch effort to go to a producer to try to get a gig, but of course the producer wanted her to, the whole casting couch idea, but she wound up suffocating him to death, and of course that's when she turns to Niles, and he introduces her to Mento, and he works with her to try to help her calm down so she all her body can be normal. Okay, and at the same time, like I said, they split the teams up. Crazy Jane goes with Cliff, the doctor who runs the place where the Doom Manor, and then we also see Larry goes off with who we think a woman, I think is Vina, I think her name is, and she basically tells him that listen, I'm married to Niles and we have a daughter, and Cliff's and that's Larry. She tells Larry, excuse me, that she's married and to Niles, and they have a daughter. And Larry goes, wait a minute, I've known Niles for over 60 years, and as far as I know, he's not married. And at the same time, uh, Rita is talking with Larry, and he's telling her all these great stories and stuff about how they defeated Dr. Nobody and stuff. And then she comes to the realization. She says, wait a minute, he even gets her. He brings up a painful memory from her past. Okay, and then that's when we see the illusion shatter, and we find out that Mento is actually creating this illusion of this mansion, and it's really there. In the real world, you see that these characters have aged. Okay, and they actually got defeated by Mento. They didn't actually beat Mr. Nobody. They actually got defeated by Mr. Nobody, and we find out later that Mr. Nobody sent them there on purposely to find out exactly and show that this is what happens when you go against me. Okay, so that's why he literally sent her back there, so they can see what happened to the old Doom Patrol and how they're basically just living in this illusion, okay, and having to be taken care of by this doctor, and he's making sure they take their medication, and they let Mento create this illusion so they think that they won, and they're young, and they're living their best lives. Okay, and so that was a nice surprise. And like I said, we got more Elasti-Girl, Rita, more of her backstory, which is always good to see and stuff. And we got to see the old Doom Patrol members and stuff. We got more information about Niles and stuff and how he had to. And even there was the point where the administrative Cliff doctor tells Crazy Jane, listen, Niles at one point thought about sending you here to this place. Okay, and this was a good episode again because this show is getting better and better to me because it's revealing more and more. You're getting more and more, and it was good to see the old Doom Patrol. You got to see Memento. You got to see Niles. You got to see the two other women that had nice powers and stuff. I don't think they ever gave them names in this, and I have to look up the comic to see what their names were in the comic because I know a little bit about the history of the Doom Patrol, but I don't know if these two characters were the original members of the Doom Patrol, which I don't think they were. I know Steve Dayton was, but I don't think these other the two women in this episode were. But I can't swear to that because I don't know the complete history of the Doom Patrol. But anyway, this episode again, also, like I said, you got Cliff basically telling Cyborg's father, listen, Silas, listen, your son put it on the line for us. He's a hero, and you got to stop treating him, treat him with more respect. And he said and basically he tells him, listen, I know what it's like to lose a kid, so don't waste, don't alienate your son. Okay, well, you got a chance, which is a nice point for him to bring up. Okay, and then later we find out Vic helps after they made a deal that if Robot Man would watch Silas while he's rebooting Vic because it was going to take a couple hours for him to reboot him, and he said, as long as you watch out for me, then I'll help you with your daughter. And sure enough, he hacks his daughter Facebook account, and he finds out that his daughter is actually his friend. I guess his mechanic guy has pictures all over it saying, pictures with my dad, and it's actually the mechanic, his mechanic there, and he goes crazy and smashes the computer because he sees that his daughter is considering the mechanic guy her father. So of course, and it goes off kind of like that. And this was a good episode. Again, we get more of the Chief's background and more of his backstory and stuff, and we got to know more about. We got to know that this original Doom Patrol actually got defeated by Mr. Nobody, and he really just sent Crazy Jane and them back there so they could see exactly what would happen to them if they keep pursuing this, trying to save the Chief. Okay, so which I think they still are going to do it anyway. And then, like I said, we get to know more of Elasti-Girl, Rita's background and her, her story, which is good to see as well. And again, this show to me is just getting better and better. The writing, the acting is just top notch on this show. I absolutely love this. Is actually my favorite show. I think it is better than Titans, even though I like Titans, but I think this show is just better because the characters are just. I think the acting and the writing for this show is just really strong. And I think Titans, it took a while for it to get going, but this show from the beginning has been excellent. Okay, and I absolutely love it. Anyway, let me know what you think of episode 6, Doom Patrol. What do you think of it? Feel free to leave comments down below, and if you like this review, please hit the subscribe button down below. I have links to my Facebook, Twitter, my Instagram in the description box, as well as a link to my other channel, Paul's Views and Opinions. Please check that out as well. And this is Trey Passes, and so long, and take care.